Welcome back to What's the 411 News, where we bring you news observation, interpretation, and news commentary from an FBA and BGR perspective. Let's get it. Welcome back, everybody, to What's the 411 News. And we're taking a closer look, again, with the Black American family working out, getting in shape, combating this medical apartheid through healthy nutrition, healthy exercise, acquiring knowledge in that field. You don't have to be a doctor, but you can talk to doctors and get more knowledge, get more information, get the right information, get good information. All right? So to continue on with this, we're talking about racism and working out. All right? Racism and working out. A lot of people say that racism is hindering Black Americans from working out. And so we're going to take a look into an article real quick, all right? And let's see what they're talking about here as we give some commentary in between and break it down a little bit, all right? So let's take a look at the article. So, racism makes working on your fitness harder. And so I'm going to ask the question, does racism make working on your fitness harder? And another question to that is, will you allow racism to make working on your fitness harder? All right. So let's check this out. All right. So we all know working up a sweat is a must for keeping our bodies and minds in top form, from fending off illnesses to supercharging our brain power. Exercise does it all. And I think I agree with that. But here's the tricky part. When it comes to hitting those health goals, Black folks are facing more hurdles and consistently coming up short compared to other racial and ethnic groups. According to the national guidelines set by the CDC, we got to be careful about information coming from the CDC and the people of the CDC, because we all know now, information has been coming out now with Rochelle, I think her name is Rochelle Walensky, and some of the information she was putting out was turning out to be faulty. So taking the information, but take it with a mindset of being scientific, meaning questioning things, and then try to find the answers to these questions. All right. So again, according to the national guidelines set by the CDC, adults should complete 150 minutes of moderate to intense physical activity weekly, or 30 minutes a day for 5 days. And I've talked about that before in our previous report, about the Black community and physical fitness. Okay, about walking and increasing your walking times from 5 minutes to 10 to 15 to 30. So this might go in line of what they're saying. All right, 30 minutes a day for 5 days if you're going to go for a walk, or moderate, light, moderate, heavy exercise. So data released by the CDC revealed that from 2017 to 2022, 30% of Black adults completed no physical activity or exercise outside of work over the span of a month, compared to 25.3% of adults overall. Now I'm going to repeat that. Data released by the CDC revealed that from 2017 to 2022, 30% of black adults completed no physical activity or exercise outside of work over the span of a month, compared to 25.3% of adults overall. The lack of movement can't be attributed to a motivation shortfall alone, a challenge many people face when fulfilling an exercise regimen. A number of unique challenges rooted in systemic racism are partly to blame. All right. Violence creates a fear of going outside. All right. Sometimes black and low income neighborhoods aren't safe enough for a jog or a day at the park. So again, before we continue, I discussed this in our previous report, I always say previous report regarding black Americans, the black community, and physical fitness. If you can find a way to do some of the things that are not so constructive for your life, and you go out your way to do that, you'll find a way to find a safer neighborhood. If it's just going across town in some way, form, or fashion, all right, or find a park, a safer park to go to. There's some way you can get there. Bus, train, Uber, maybe well, I don't know if taking a bike will, because you might have to run through the more unsafe neighborhoods, but there's always a way to do it. We got some pretty clever minds and creative minds to find a way, even if you do it at home. You know, if you can't do it outside, you can do it at home. Okay, so there's always a way to get your workout on. Okay, so Christopher Ross, a 53-year-old husband and father, was fatally shot in the head by a stray bullet while playing handball. His death on August 9, 2020 occurred 1 month after another man was killed on the same court. Tiffany Fletcher, a 41-year-old woman, was caught in the crossfire while sitting outside of a recreation center on September 10th, 2022. The mother of three rushed to the hospital and died 3 hours later. Another thing that's crossed my mind, not only that, you can push these politicians and let them know, hey, you can get voted out if you don't do something to keep our neighborhoods much more safe. Okay. Again, there's a lot of different ways you can get things done, so you can get done what you need to get done. Okay. There's something that crossed my mind real quick. So both of these incidents occurred in predominantly black neighborhoods: Crown Heights in Brooklyn, New York, and Mill Creek in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. People impacted directly or indirectly by gun violence may develop anxiety, depression, or PTSD, mental illnesses that can keep a person indoors and away from others. However, exercising while black is no easier for folks who live in predominantly white neighborhoods. Okay. That was the case for Ahmaud Arbery, a 25-year-old who was murdered by three white men while running near his Brunswick, Georgia home in 2020. The secret to upping physical activity indoors. On top of the threat of neighborhood violence, paying for exclusive fitness memberships can be expensive. Yeah, especially when we're in Biden season right now. Yeah, it's going to be real expensive right now. A lot of things going to be real expensive. Healthy foods, places to work out at. And another thing that comes to mind is that maybe you can push some of these politicians to start building some parks or redoing some parks, because I've seen some parks now with the outside equipment that's just bolted down to the ground that folks can use. I don't see too many people using them though. I've been to several different parks where I seen the workout stuff was outside, just bolted to the ground. You can do exercises on the equipment out there, but not too many people go and use them. You can bring your Lysol sprays and things you need to wipe the stuff off in case, you want to use it right after somebody or you don't know who's used it before. But maybe you can push these politicians to start doing that as well. To take a more important look on the importance of physical fitness, working out. All right. And they have a point regarding, they bring it up Ahmaud Arbery, they're bringing up the Tiffany Fletcher and Christopher Ross incidents. Also, maybe employing people from, the men in the neighborhood to keep the neighborhood safe. You might even go as far as, and this is just an idea from reading. I have a book. I hope I still have it. I don't know if somebody took it or not. But I had a Black Wall Street book when I read some of it in there. I read all of it. It wasn't a long read at all. And in the book, there was mention about the black community getting together, and maybe one of the main people in the community also mentioned in present times. I'm gonna use the word, even bringing in like the gang members as far as protection. Everybody plays a role in making sure the Black Wall Street thrived and survived, and even bringing in what will be the so-called thugs and the gangsters, having them play a role as well to keep the neighborhood protected. And so, this might be a thing. This could be a thing because originally that's what it said. These gangs were started for that purpose, to protect their community, and then the drugs and the shooting and all that started getting funneled in there and made it bad for the community as a whole. But originally, that's what the gangs was started up for in their particular neighborhood, so they wouldn't continue to get people getting beat up, old folks getting beat up, and people stealing from them. So maybe that's at least is an idea, a thought of maybe even using some of the local gang members to be more protective of maybe the elderly and kids, and not allowing them to get hurt so they can go work out. Maybe the women as well, so they can work out outside. You know what I'm saying? It's just an idea being thrown out there. Okay. So, yeah, on top of the threat of neighborhood violence, paying for exclusive fitness memberships can be expensive. The average monthly gym membership runs anywhere from $38 to $75, depending on the state, according to Statista. Research has found gym and recreation fees to be an added barrier for black folks who simply can't afford them. For the community, who is over 2 times more likely to live in poverty than white Americans, there is hope. Dr. Camilla Stevenson, a health coach, counselor, and pastor, has 2 words for people who want better overall health on a budget: just move. Those are the 2 words: just move. People will get greater results if they never People will get greater results if they never exercised, but they were in constant movement throughout the day. Okay. That's an improvement from doing nothing, that's for sure. No doubt about that. And then there's a picture there of the health coach, Dr. Camilla Stevenson. All right. Living a sedentary lifestyle, sitting or lying down for 6 or more hours a day, can lead to obesity, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, and other chronic illnesses. We're in a convenience age where people are delivering our groceries to us while we're sitting up watching Netflix. The real issue is that people are not moving as much as they used to, Stevenson says. Think about when the world got shut down. Everybody's remote, nobody's going anywhere, nobody's active. But there are simple ways to be active indoors. She suggests going up and down the stairs the same as you would on a Stairmaster at the gym, or cleaning around the house. At minimum, she says, stand up every 20 to 30 minutes, move around, get some blood flowing. For folks who decide to take on an exercise regimen, she raves of the mental health benefits. Exercise is one of those things that can help you de-stress, and it can help you manage stress. Jumping rope works for adults too. Bernadette Henry, 44 years old, can attest to the mental aid physical activity offers. She was 19 years old when she finally decided to take jump roping seriously, Under the instruction of world-class boxers Michael Olajide or Olajai Jr. and the late Stephen Johnson, she learned to jump to music. That's when her health started to shift. A year later, I noticed that I had lost so much weight. Like I said, that was not the goal, the New Yorker says. But she thought the change was cool enough to keep at the sport for decades and become a master jump rope instructor. I'll jump rope anywhere, anytime, she says, just a week after jumping rope with a friend in Times Square. Henry can be seen on social media jumping with a smile to all types of music, gospel, reggaeton, and more. While she's lowered her blood pressure, she says the mental and emotional benefits of jumping are amazing. Where do I go to release my stress? I'm going to turn on music. We're going to get the jump rope. We're going to forget everything that's going on and focus on this, she says. Through her classes and recently released book, she encourages folks in any neighborhood to grab a rope and hop into an affordable, healthy lifestyle. And yeah, ropes are cheap. All right. So the one-time investment in a jump rope costs around $5 to $10 for a regular adult size rope. Weighted ropes are available for a few extra bucks. That's actually one of the greatest benefits of jumping rope. Henry says about the sport's affordability. You have this little piece of material, this rope, that you can take anywhere, anytime. Depending on where you live, you can do it inside the house or the apartment or your garage. Also, I would add myself is that get you some resistance bands to work out as well. That's another thing you can take pretty much anywhere you go. Take it to work, take it to the park, you can use it at home. So the combination of the jump rope and the resistance bands will give you a nice workout. For those who have neighborhoods that are not the best as far as going outside and working out. All right. So I suggest resistance bands, and a lot of them that I've seen come in a pack of three. It comes with one that's the lightest, and then the next one's kind of in the middle, and then you have the more heavier one, if you will, not really heavy in weight, but it's harder to push and stretch that band out. So you have those three, and you can start working on using the lightest one, and then you can leave that alone. Work on the middle one till you get stronger using the middle size one, and then you can use the biggest one. And then after a while, you're getting really strong, and it's becoming easier to use the more thicker one, resistance band. Then you can start combining them. Maybe use the lightest one and the middle one together, and then you can kind of switch that out with the thickest one. So it's different ways you can do it, man, and it's not that expensive to get resistance bands. So between the jump rope and the resistance bands, you can never go wrong. You can work out pretty much anywhere, even on travel. All right. Even me, sometimes when I travel, um, I have resistance bands in the trunk, so I need to probably get a rope. But lately, I didn't mess with the jump rope a lot in a few years because it seems like after I'm finished jumping rope, it just seems like my heart rate is just racing all day long until even till bedtime. So I don't know about the jump rope for me personally. All right, I might have to do some other things um, as far as the cardio part of that, or jump a little lighter, or jump lesser as far as jumping rope. because I used to jump rope for a long time, periods of time, and then my heart rate will be kind of up all day, all night, and I want to kind of calm down and relax when it's time for bed, but it seemed like my heart rate will still be going, and I done jumped rope 5-6 hours ago. So that's something also to consider, because other people might be experiencing or might experience that themselves. So that's one thing I'll say about jump ropes. And I don't know if it has something to do with age or what. So that's something to look into. But as far as resistance bands, you can never go wrong with resistance bands at all. Okay. So you guys just let me know what you think about this one. My Black American family, is racism hindering you from going outside to working out, whether in the park, whether taking a walk, and will you consider purchasing a jump rope and some resistance bands and consider working out at home? All right, so you guys let us know what you think about that. And with that being said, this is What's the 411 News. Before we get out of here, let me make sure we do this. We are coming into the summer months, all right, and you got heat exhaustion and heat stroke, and so you got to be aware of the symptoms of such. All right, the symptoms of heat exhaustion: pale appearance, weakness, fainting, headache, nausea, muscle cramps. Heat stroke, you have high fever, flushed skin, confusion or loss of consciousness can be symptoms of heat stroke. Okay. With heat exhaustion, cool off and drink plenty of fluids. With a heat stroke, you want to definitely call an ambulance right away. All right. So keep those things in mind. The symptoms of heat exhaustion and the symptoms of heat stroke. All right. So definitely keep those things in mind and keep yourself safe for the summer. All right. So with that being said, we appreciate y'all as always. Be sure to subscribe to all the platforms we're on, or whatever you're on the most, whether it's YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Spotify, where they're allowing Spotify podcasts or video content now. If you're on Spotify, check us out there as well. We're also on Fanbase. All right. So we'll be available in a lot of places. Wherever you're at, we'll be at. And like I always say, no matter where you are around the world, you can always bet on the new Black American media. All right. So with that being said, this is What's the 411 News, and we gone. Peace.
Welcome back to What's the 411 News, where we bring you news observation, interpretation, and news commentary from an FBA and BGR perspective. Let's get it.